I live! I'm the lore master. Well, as I've said since the first video, I'm in training. I'm joined by Daedric, who seem to have gotten nowhere in our group projects for the Lorebound Library exams since I've been gone. If you're new to the channel, and since this channel is so young, that's all of you, you probably are curious about my upload schedule. Long story short, work has been rough. I also made a whole script about 2 months ago, even mostly edited it, and figured I just wasn't very happy with the script because it was just surface level. Prior to this, I had released a video that I wasn't too happy about, and I didn't want to do that again. In my first draft, I failed to answer the real question: what makes Elder Scrolls awesome? I'll include most of the original script. I realized as I was working on it, I got into a pun war, and it trapped me into hundreds and hundreds of hours of Photoshop. I know hearing me say I had to cut out puns and movie lines, you're probably thinking, that's not true, that's impossible. But if you search your feelings, you know it to be true.
Lore Master, I'm not sure reading these Elder Scrolls was a good idea.
You can read those scrolls all you want, but that won't tell you why the Elder Scrolls succeeds as a story.
Alright, smart guy, spill the beans!
Elder Scrolls hits several different criteria. For one thing, let's look at the gameplay. From the earliest days of Elder Scrolls Arena, which is one of my gaming trophies having beaten it, you have unique gameplay. In an age where clicking on a button to attack was the norm, swinging your mouse left and right was a radical step. That style of gameplay continues on, even when taking into account games like the Elder Scrolls Online, which doesn't do that. You still have a very unique set of mechanics. And I get not everyone is into the mechanics of the Elder Scrolls Online, but it's hard to argue it's not a brave step. The next path towards Elder Scrolls awesomeness is that of world building. More on this later, but this is probably what has gotten so many of us interested in the universe. I keep no secret that I enjoy role-playing in World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft has its drawbacks. Anyone who has ever been to Gold Shower on Moonguard US cannot unsee that. I say this with full love, as I've played a little bit of World of Warcraft. But Warcraft's depth of universe pales in comparison. You have a few settlements that are named, the rest are mysterious. This makes the universe feel veiled or empty. Compare that to Elder Scrolls, where Arena lists over 400 locations. That's the first draft of the universe with 400 cities, each with their own culture and history, though brief in Arena. It gave them a starting point to flesh out concepts. Daggerfall, just one of these regions, jumps to 3,000 towns and cities, with 15,000 named locations. Honestly, if you don't care about graphics and want a game to jump into, try Daggerfall. I haven't personally played it yet, but I'm dying to. How many does Azeroth have? 40, maybe. This depth of field, 400 on a continental scale, 3,000 zoomed in, means you are in a fully realized and living world. This is a world where everywhere you look, something is happening. Whether it's the randomly generated dungeon of Arena or the top of Skyrim. How many of you are non-role players out there who find yourself acting as your character would because everywhere you go in these games, it reminds you that you're in a living universe? Compare that to not even Warcraft, as I do enjoy that universe and will do videos on it in the future. But say Red Faction. Red Faction is great, I love this series, but do you find yourself role-playing in it? Unless you roleplay in every game, I'm gonna wager no. Then let's look at lore dumps in Elder Scrolls. Sure, many games have readable content in a library, or maybe you're collecting data pads and take your time to read them as the demons are invading Mars, but I can't think of any game out there that can compete with the sheer volume of Elder Scrolls. I've read many of these, but every time I load in, there's a new one to read through. And then that's not even mentioning popular ones that are internet famous, like The Lusty Argonian Maid. Even the starting point is interesting. A prisoner is the lowest of the low. This creates a sense of accomplishment, rising above your station as a prisoner, leaving why you're a prisoner usually up to the player's imagination. This makes it so that you can create an oversized impact on the universe. Look at it this way. A prince defeating a dragon to save the realm. Yeah, it's been done. It can be a good story. But an even better story is an unlikely hero. And what's more unlikely than someone locked away for his crime? It also leaves open the question as to the player's path. Do you double down on this life of crime, or do you repent? Were you even in prison justly? Or was it a mistake? It leaves those choices up to you, the player. Most games have a background story for the main character. These can be great too, from a plumber who's also a fake doctor and probably abuses animals, to that of a theoretical physicist who happens to be really handy at a crowbar. But when you combine it with a world that's as in-depth as Nern, it brings you to imagination overdrive. The Elder Scrolls gives you that freedom to be a weirdo. Another win for the Elder Scrolls is that of creating this world where the odd and strange happenstance can occur. Sweet rolls, milk drinkers, arrows to the knee, lusty Argonians, and more. These unique takes make it so that even out of context, you see milk drinker or arrow to the knee, and you immediately think of Tamriel and the Elder Scrolls. It's iconic, and few games have as fun little throwbacks as the Elder Scrolls does. There are two types of stories generally. There are plot-driven stories and setting-driven stories. For plot stories, I'm talking like Star Wars or serial stories like Star Trek. These stories have amazing settings, but the settings evolved around amazing plots. Some of this is subjective, but you look at a great concept like Earthsea, the setting evolved around the plot. On the other side of the coin, you have the setting driving the story. These are sandbox stories. You have your Warhammer 40,000, your Dungeons and Dragons, your...
Sims?
Sure, whatever. Anyway, these stories generate characters from the setting. Like, I consider Conan a setting-driven, not a plot-driven story. I consider it that because Conan wanders the world doing plots within that setting. From the Frost Giant's daughter to the Tower of the Elephant. These are mini adventures set in a chaotic world. Captain Titus's plot in Space Marine has evolved from a setting. You have your setting first, you have your plots next.
So, Elder Scrolls would be a setting based.
Almost.
Oh no. Here we go again.
What if I told you that in a world of plot versus setting driven stories, there is a secret third kind? A kind that the initiate is familiar with. A kind that is on TV every evening.
The Elder Scrolls is a newscast?
No, Imp. The Elder Scrolls is a sitcom with less comedy and more apocalyptic stakes. These character-based stories are situational. That's in the name of a sitcom. Different characters react differently in different situations. Just like with a sitcom, you have characters with their own very narrow set of roles. Molag Bal is domination and enslavement. Shigarath is the Prince of Madness, almost like a Joker deity. Her scene is of the hunt. The pesky mortals do have agency, but they are often just pawns for the chaos and drama of the gods.
I suppose a sitcom about gods would tell us finally who the boss is.
Exactly. We may even get a Daedric Prince of Bel-Air. In other words, this setup allows constant shift of puzzle pieces. Bethesda has very unique characters that react differently. They can take well-known stories and mold it based on how those characters will react. It creates a realm where it's always sunny in Oblivion.
So many puns!
Anyway, if they don't like where the plot is going, they can park and recreate it in the same game.
Let's do this with less puns.
You got it. Look at the story of Timmy falling down the well. By using my high-tech random number generator...
Lore Master, you're holding dice.
My dice landed on Shigaroth. Now, Timmy thinks he's a sweet roll, thanks to the Prince of Madness tricking him into the well. Not liking that? Roll again. Her scene, now the dog barking by Timmy's fall is a sacred beast of the hunt, leading a wild rescue.
Wait, is Lastly an agent of her scene?
It's not just the gods like the Adrian Daedric either. Guilds join the sitcom cast. The Fighters Guild hunts a well troll to save Timmy. The Dark Brotherhood? They pushed him in, Agents 47 style, for a contract. Thieves Guild? Timmy was sneaking into a hidden vault and slipped. This setup spins endless plots, making Elder Scrolls a storytelling goldmine. With this kind of world building, the initiate could use it in their own stories. Whether it's for a Dungeons & Dragons game, a roleplay story with the guild, or you're a grown man playing with Legos in your basement. Yes, I'm looking at you. You could use this formula, create unique and larger-than-life characters that conflict and argue with each other, and plot and scheme. This will make your stories flow through you. So stop looking at the Elder Scrolls, Shatterwicks. You'll go blind.
Like I haven't heard that before.
Well, Initiate, I hope you had a good time. My studies hopefully will be calming down some, so I can put out more of these videos. I really like making these videos, and I feel like we really touch the tough subjects. Next, let's look at why miniature cities are amazing. What's the psychology behind hidden secret worlds? That one will be a longer video, so I've stockpiled an entire coffee elemental to keep me going. My medieval computer is also coming along well. However, it's covered in tiger blood, and that has attracted ants. I think these ants are networking together though, like in the Legacy of Herat. Behold! In the comments below, let me know what you think of Chatterix's new voice. If you enjoyed what you saw, please hit the like button and subscribe so we can pass the lore-bound exams.
I wonder what the Elder Scrolls sitcom intro would look like.
Step into Nern where the moons collide. Daedric princes with their schemes worldwide. Molag Ball's got his handshake firm. Sheogorath serving chaos on every turn. Daedra Knight's comedy. Oh, you never guess. With Mirun's Dagon in his fiery mess. Azura side-eye like she's got tea to spill. Living on Nern's a game of free will. Clavicus Vile's got deals for days, while Vermina's dreams set the world ablaze. Botaya's plotting in her secret lair. Who'll survive under their crafty stare? Daedra Knight's comedy. Oh, what a mix. Each prince so sly with their bag of tricks. Mortals caught up in divine charade. A laugh track plays with every mad escapade. Meridia's light shining in the dark. Here scenes hunting parties, leaving its mark. Sanguine's bringing the drinks and cheer. The sitcom of the ages, let's make it here. Daedra Knight's comedy. What a theme so bright. Nern's a crazy sitcom on a strange wild night. No one's safe, but it's always fun when Daedric jokes are never outdone. Ivicus Vile's got deals for days, while Vermina's dreams set the world ablaze. Bowtie is plotting in her secret lair. Who'll survive under their crafty stare? Daedric Knights